the Nerd Show. Podcast Radio. She's a nerd, he's a nerd, talking about what we know. Nerd Podcast Radio. We're all nerds, we're all nerds. Buckle up, cause here we go. Nerd Podcast Radio. Welcome everybody to the Nerd Podcast Radio. Welcome everybody to the Nerd Podcast Radio.
Welcome to Nerd Podcast Radio, your nerd home away from home.
Welcome to Nerd Podcast Radio. I'm your host, Super Vegan Brian, and I'm joined by Tanok David.
That's good. That's good. Hi, everybody.
Tanok. What is it? How does it go? It's like Tanok tune.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Tune, die.
And courtesy Smurferica.
Hola.
We are here. It is November. How is everybody doing?
Tired, Brian. I'm tired.
Yeah. The kind of tire that sleep doesn't fix.
I'm tired too. I had a rough drive home.
He said it's been a long month this week.
It's been one hell of a month this last week.
It wasn't by accident.
Well, there was a great line in a movie. I don't remember what it was. I had one hell of a week last weekend in Vegas.
I'm going to do something a little new today at the beginning of the podcast. I'm going to say, and Nerd Podcast Radio has a Patreon. And if you go to that Patreon at patreon.com/nerdpodcastradio, if you donate at any level, you can get access to our Discord, which has an awesome community on it. And at our highest level, you can get access to video of these episodes, which we do not post to the public. So
you can watch Brian's bird going ape shit in his cage behind him.
Yeah, Castiel. The angel of the Lord who grips you tight. Or you can see David dance.
Woo!
And on very special episodes, we do shirtless David.
Oh, yeah. Depends on how hot it gets in here.
We are talking about thankfulness today, which hopefully goes better than my other seasonal episode last week where we ended up just breaking topic because half of our podcast doesn't have seasons. Say it again, Erica.
We learned something very important last time, Brian.
We don't like doing stuff when it's cold.
Yeah, no one likes going outside in the cold.
That's what we learned. It's that, you know what we do outside when it's cold? Not
go inside.
a goddamn thing. We go inside.
Yeah, if I'm outside when it's cold, I go inside.
Well, in the spirit of thankfulness and rough winter afternoons, I'm going to crack open a Groundbreaker Brewing Blood Orange Cranberry Fruit Ale. And
hashtag sponsor? Question mark?
I wish. I mean, I do live in a place that I could reach out to them. You start reaching out to them and tell them you heard about their product on our podcast.
Yeah, you sleep under your Casper mattresses and use your beard kits.
David.
Huh?
We don't get paid for that. No,
I know.
Without money.
Now, what's funny is if we ever did get one of those sponsors, I won't be able to say anything like, I used their product before we were even sponsored by them, because I don't get any of that internet stuff. I have been tempted to get MeUndies, though, because I listen to Super Carlin Brothers, and they always talk about MeUndies.
I'll tell you what, I did fall for one of those podcast things. It was one of the happiest things I ever did. When I was listening to Pacific Northwest radio, was it Tanis? No, it was the Black Tapes. They had a Bombas thing, and this was like, I don't know, 10 years ago, and it was like for Bombas socks, and I was like, okay, I'll try it out, whatever. And now it's the only socks I own because they were that damn comfortable.
I remember those ads. I understand MeUndies are like similar. They're they're like the underwear that you'll never buy underwear from anyone ever again. They're also sponsored by Bespoke Post, and I get a lot of Bespoke Post ads on stuff I listen to.
The only one I ever bought was Raycon earbuds, and they're actually pretty good. So
I have Dashlane VPN, which I heard about on a podcast. So I guess I do get influenced by advertisements.
That's right. Yay! My craft work.
Okay, that is a very impressive head on that beer.
Yeah.
Brian is very...
Get you some head, Brian.
ASMR, hold on.
We can't hear it.
Oh, that'll show up on recording for sure.
Oh man.
And we learned that Brian swallows today.
I do swallow head. I do swallow head sometimes.
What the fuck happened
I
to us?
I also like it on beer. I'm thankful for this podcast and my friends on it. And we're going to talk about all sorts of stuff like that. But first,
But first, we're going to play everyone's favorite game, What's Nerdy with You, where we talk about the nerdiest thing we've done in the last 2 weeks, and we vote using the patented Mike Myler widget system.
People should go on patreon.com/nerdpodcastradio and subscribe to our video feed so you can watch Erica play with her cat with a nail file.
yeah, the bird cam, cat cam, there's all sorts of great stuff.
And I'm just hanging with my boys. If you can see my background, you'd get it.
Well, this is a
Oh, but you know what? Before we do What's Nerdy with You, we should probably give a shout out to Holly, one of our patrons on our Discord, who needs good vibes.
Oh yes, hopefully
yeah.
everything is all right with her
pet.
her pet.
Yeah.
Emergency vet
Right,
visits are
Holly.
not fun.
We're thinking about you.
Yep.
That's motivation to get this to the patrons ASAP.
There you go. So let's see. What's nerdy with me? Well, my Kingmaker group finally started doing their kingdom turns, and they've formed an autocracy, and are currently 8 of 12 through the first year of their kingdom management. So Pathfinder becomes less of a role-playing game and more accounting the game.
Counting the game.
I understand it can get quite fun
Oh,
if
no,
you
it's
don't
great.
get too in the weeds.
Yeah, it's great. And there are some tools available online, spreadsheets and such, that make it a lot easier to manage. And like we're using one called Kingdom Maker, and it's so nice.
Yeah, it's amazing that people made tools specifically for a specific adventure path.
Yeah.
You know, when you play modules in D&D or adventure paths in Pathfinder, you can Google tools for those adventures, and someone's probably made something.
Oftentimes they're like, oh God, hand, we're getting eaten by a hand. Oh, we're back.
No, I just was trying to make it so it's easier for everybody to see the kitty.
Aww.
Oh, S2O.
Yeah, so I had to do some homework and find some online kingdom building tools to help with my Kingmaker group. So that was pretty much the nerdiest thing I did all week.
Nice. What about you, Erica?
Okay, so we've talked about how I am trying to read a book a week starting the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was starting to feel really guilty because I felt like I was falling behind. But then I realized something. The books I was choosing is the Wheel of Time series.
Oh my God.
Nice.
And they're 1,200 pages
Yeah.
on average. And so I really wasn't through with one a week, clearly.
With the Wheel of Time, you could do a chapter a week,
Well, you do more than that.
or
But
like 3 or 4. But I mean, especially in the Eye of the World, some of those chapters are really long.
Yeah, for those books, I'd say, a couple hundred pages a week. Maybe if you can get through a whole book in a month, awesome.
And it's
Well,
not an easy read.
I looked at the average length of a book, and it's about 400 pages.
Of just a book, random book, or
Yeah,
Yeah,
the average length of most novels we read.
Yes, it's about
Yeah.
400 pages. So then I thought, well, if I get through one of these books a month, I read 4 books in a month.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
when I look at it in that lens, I am way ahead of the game because I started reading the Wheel of Time series in July, and I'm on book 7. So
That's pretty damn good.
yeah. So that's where that's my nerdy thing is I'm on book 7 of the Wheel of Time.
Yeah, you are way ahead.
And I figured out that I really am not like way behind.
Was Eye of the World rough?
No, they're long chapters, but I will say that I'm breezing through it. I love the world building in it. Love it. It's so intricate, and I don't know if it was well thought out or if it was like just coming up with reasons for stuff later and then blending it into, I don't know how the author did it. But it's very like I'm immersed in this. I got to figure out what's happening. So that's where yeah. I love it. It's not a hard read for me at all. I like find myself breezing through chapters.
Here's an interesting fact. The first D&D game the first D&D game I ever played was heavily inspired by the Wheel of Time because my best friend Sandro read them right around that time in school.
Okay.
And this has been an interesting fact.
I don't remember the monster's name, but he statted out this like monster from Wheel of Time for the game.
I
Probably a
can't
troglodyte.
Something like that.
I can't say anything. I read all of the new Jedi Order books specifically about the Yuzong Vong War, just so I could run a Yuzong Vong campaign in D20 Star Wars.
I understand those are really good.
Nah, they're hit and miss. There are some really good ones. There are a lot of bad ones.
I've never read any of the books, but I did play in a
I mean,
Roll20 Star Wars campaign that involved the Yuzin Vong.
yeah. Like I don't usually badmouth authors, but Kathy Tears, her the two books in that series were actually painful to read.
They
I'd have to put them down. I couldn't. No.
they seemed like an alien race that was designed for a role-playing game.
Yeah, 100%.
But a lot of Star Wars and Star Trek fiction is inspired by the role-playing games that are tied to them. I understand most of the background material that they use in Star Wars movies for history comes from the old role-playing game.
That
Yeah.
would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense. So even with starting this series in July, I think I've still read 30 books plus the seven. So I've got 37 books this year so far.
That's impressive.
Yeah. And I keep adding books to my list. People keep recommending books. I've got a list, like, I want to say I've got like 13 books on deck when I finish the series. But the thing about the Wheel of Time series is that you can't stop reading it and read something else, because if you do, like, the world building is so dense, you'll forget forget stuff. And then you'll be like, oh, what was that again? Like, I don't remember. So I've got to get through the whole thing before I start reading anything else, is where I am.
I remember when they were coming out, my friends that read them would go on reading marathons every time a new book came out because they had to reread the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Which I don't have to do, thank goodness, because they're all out. At least I think so. I don't know if he's still adding to them, but
He's dead.
I was gonna say I thought he was dead.
Yeah,
oh.
he's dead. He didn't finish the series. They were finished by a different author.
Yep.
Yeah, they were finished by Brandon Sanderson.
Still an amazing author. I'm good.
Yeah.
I love Brandon Sanderson. His Tress book was so entertaining. Like, it was just amazingly entertaining and very thoughtful. So I enjoyed it a lot. I've read a lot of his books. The one that I am really anxious about seeing the next one. I'll have to pull it up real quick. Hold on. It is, again, incredible world building, things that you don't really think about. Let me get my finished books. Nope. Oh, it's by Patrick Rothfuss.
Yep. Patrick Office.
The Name of the Wind and the Wise Man's
The name of
Fear.
the
Yep.
series. Like, I cannot wait for the next one to come out. Like, I'm so on edge with it. It's so good. So I really
Yeah.
hope it's good.
When we'll get a chance to read it when we're in old folks' homes.
Why? How long has
He's
it been?
just notorious for it's been like, I want to say 15 years, but I might be exaggerating. Let's see. When did Wise Man's Fear come out? Oh no, it's been longer than that. It's 2011.
Oh, for real? Is he
Yeah.
never finishing it? Like, is this where we are?
He keeps on saying he's working on it.
That makes my heart sad, because I read the two novelettes he has, The Slow Regard of Silent Things and The Narrow Road Between Desires, as
Yeah,
well.
he had just released a new novelette too, and it's like, when the hell are you gonna do the third book?
Yeah, because I'm really, really loving it.
Yeah, it's gonna be called The Doors of Stone, and there's still no news on when it's coming. He was actually on Critical Role a few times.
Yes, he was.
Was he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original campaign near the end, he shows up in a couple of spots. He was a guest for a couple episodes.
Oh. Well, at least he's still alive, so there's that.
Yeah, but he's like as slow as R.R. Martin as far as when he's putting books out. So yeah.
Don't see that.
Yeah. I've almost resigned myself to the fact I don't think Game of Thrones is actually ever going to end. I don't
No,
think it's ever going to get written.
Well, I've heard people say that HBO has basically paid him a lot of money to never finish them.
That would make sense.
Well, their ending was the worst.
Oh,
So,
god awful.
God.
Which is probably why they don't want him to finish it, because they don't want it to be better.
Like, we've already fucked it. We need you to not make it any better so that nobody, or I mean, everybody knows how bad we fucked it up, but nobody has anything to compare it to. So just never finish it and we'll
Oh,
get
yeah.
millions of dollars.
Oh, that fight in Winterfell where it was so black you can't see anything.
That wasn't the worst part of
Oh, it was for me.
Was it?
Yes. I literally was staring at a black screen for 20 minutes, listening to shit happening.
Hey, get back here. Get back here, you. Get back here, you. Well, Brian, what was nerdy with you?
Oh, yeah. We're doing a game.
So the Pathfinder campaign I'm playing in, we completed our second to last game. Our last
the penultimate game, huh?
Yep. We went through some fights. We fought Lengul's, Devourers, two of them, and we dodged a fight with a fossil golem because of Wall of Stone. You know, the great thing about constructs is like, wall it in, leave, because
Are you DMing this or are you playing?
I'm playing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the best way to end a long campaign like that is right at the end of the very last fight. Rocks fall, everyone's dead. Campaign over.
Well, we went through the fights. We did okay. We dodged the fight with the fossil golem. And I actually, and this is the nerdy thing, I made the comment, should someone search for traps?
Oh,
And
no.
two people in the group said, we've been playing this for 2 years and our GMJ has never used traps. I'm not really worried about it.
Oh, no.
There were 5.
Well played.
And the gunslinger got hit every single time, which was great.
Yeah.
We do not have a rogue in our party, so it was great. I
Well-
would have loved to have been playing a rogue in this campaign because I would have been cheering like crazy if I finally found a trap.
Yeah.
So we went through some traps and they were clever traps. They were pretty good. My favorite was the room filled with illusionary gold with a trap door underneath that fell into a spike pit. I mean, it's a nice little basic trap, but we didn't fall for it. We have fly spells. I mean, we're all 12th level, so it was there's a Pathfinder second edition class feat for witches where they can just get a flying broom.
Yeah.
So our witch had a flying broom. But the thing that I thought was pretty great was we got to the final room, and inside that room was a night hag, the guy that we've been hunting for the whole campaign, who I'm assuming is some kind of lich. We really don't know. He's on a quest for immortality, and he uses a soul cage. I think he's basically a lich, but
Sounds like a lich to me. At least lich adjacent.
but he's also done some body hopping, and he's like a living lich, kind
Like I
of.
said, it's lich adjacent.
Yeah. And in the middle of the room was a Nalfeshne, which got me very excited. I like Nalfeshnes.
Kinky.
And Nalfeshne, listeners, is a warthog demon, and they're the demons of greed in Pathfinder, and they are a classic Dungeons and Dragons monster that has been around for a very long time, and it was one of the first
I was
monsters.
gonna say they were Gygaxian, weren't they?
I fought them many times in AD&D second edition.
Yeah, I think that was a
Been around
Gygaxian
forever.
special.
Yeah, I'm very excited to fight something like an Nalfeshne. Nalfeshnes are quite cool. It looks like a big bipedal warthog with like little owl wings sticking out of its back, like tiny little wings sticking out of its back, and they can fly.
So like Bebop from Ninja Turtles.
It really is like Bebop from Ninja Turtles. I'm excited because it's my first time fighting a demon using the second edition rules, and they've done some clever things with demon weaknesses. Like if you successfully steal something from a demon of greed, it does damage to it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. There's if you my favorite is like demons of hate. If you profess love to someone around the demon, it takes damage. There's all sorts of cool things like that.
Interesting.
Or was it the demon of envy? It's like if you give it a gift, it'll take damage.
That's funny.
That is.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited. The last game is next week, and I'm running after, so I get to run a game again. So it's gonna be fun, and we're doing Pirate City stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have no idea what my players are going to end up playing.
If we ever start a game again, Brian, or you start another game and you need somebody, my dad is like desperate to play D&D. He has nobody near him, and I said you could probably play on Zoom, and he goes, "That's fine. I'll play whatever." So just FYI. Oh, and I have Amelia's nerdy thing that I have to share with you guys. I told her if Brian's done.
Yeah, I'm done. I don't have anything else.
Okay, so I took Lee to the airport today. And we're sitting there and we're waiting for the plane, and like they do, they started talking to somebody that was just sitting there because they're super overly friendly with people. And anyway, so they started talking to this lady. Her name is Brooke. Yeah, Brooke. And so she's talking to this lady, and she's telling her that she's going to Vegas and she's super excited, and she's going to the Fallout Festival, and the lady's like, I have no idea what that is. So she starts like info dumping on her. And anyways, at the end of it, she goes, "Oh, and I'm going to share that as my nerdy thing when I get on the podcast next." And the lady goes, "Podcast?" And she goes, "Yeah, my mom and my uncle have a podcast. They've had it for like 8 years." And the lady's like, she's like, "For real?" And I was like, yeah, we do. And she goes, "Yeah, you should totally check it out. It's called Nerd Podcast Radio. You can look it up on Spotify or iTunes."
That's awesome.
And the lady's like, "Oh, okay." And so she whips out her phone, and Lee helps her find it on iTunes. And she goes, "All right, I'm following it." She goes, "What do you guys talk about?" And I told her, she goes, "Well, I don't know about any of that stuff, but I really like you guys." And she goes, "And I'd love to listen to it."
Yay!
Yay! Hi, random person at the airport.
Hello.
So, Brooke, if you are listening, welcome.
Yay!
We're happy to have you.
One of us. One of us. One of us.
Well, if we're gonna do voting, I'm gonna go first. All of my widgets go to Lee.
All of my widgets go to Lee as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, all my widgets go to Lee.
All right, they're gonna put on Fallout costumes and go try and find them in the desert.
Well, we have had a group of widgets in a vault in the desert in Nevada for quite some time.
Are we gonna release the widget?
But it turns out that vault needs a vital part. So we're going to send out a lone vault dweller widget
Get the water chip?
to get the water chip.
Yep.
All right.
And then they'll head towards Lee. So
That sounds perfect.
God, you guys are nerds. Okay. And yes, I realize the hypocrisy of me saying that.
Oh, I know. Oh.
I keep looking behind me because Castiel's in his cage and he's mumbling. So I'll just hear, "What's up? What's up? What's up?"
Should answer him.
Well, I don't want to bother him because it's close to his bedtime, and he's gonna fall asleep while we're doing this, and then we're just gonna put his cover on when we're done. "What's up?" And then you talk to him and he just gets really quiet.
He's like, "I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to myself." Oh.
Well,
All right, so Lee wins. Yay. Whee!
no, it's Lee.
I'm thankful you don't make those jokes very often.
I am thankful that I can join you guys every couple of weeks and we can do this podcast. Speaking of things I lie about all the time. No.
Wow. Okay.
No, I love you all.
Shots fired.
No, I'm really thankful I get to be here. I'm thankful I have forgiving friends who know that I'm just a giant smartass.
So we're talking about things we're thankful for.
'Tis the season.
'Tis the season. Since we do have something here in the U.S. for all those people not from the U.S. listening called Thanksgiving that is coming up.
No. It's Black Friday.
Yeah.
All right, I forgot. We're capitalists first. It's Black Friday.
But on Black Friday's Eve,
We're thankful we have a day off before so that we can eat and nourish our bodies so that we can then trample each other for things we don't need.
you have to carbo load for the Great Melee.
I am taking the entire week off this year.
Wow.
Fun.
Yeah, because we have more family visiting than we ever have had here, so it's going to be
Awesome.
it's gonna require a lot of time off.
Who's all coming?
My mom, my brother-in-law, my mother-in-law.
Okay.
Sweet. You gotta have a nice full house.
Yeah,
Give Mom my love.
I will for sure. She's doing really good.
That's good. She never answers my text messages. I'm starting to wonder
Yeah.
if she knows it's me.
No, Heather has the same problem. She doesn't respond to the ones I sent her either. I talk to her on the phone in the morning and I'm like, "Did you get my text?" "What text?" I'm like, "I sent you a Facebook message." "I haven't checked it."
That's fine. How old's Mom
Almost 75. No, or just turned 75? No, 74, because she was born in 1950.
now? Yeah, she gets a pass. Maybe I'll just call and hope one day she answers. She never answers my calls either, so.
Call her at like, that's odd. No, I call her early in the morning, but I have to catch her pretty early. I can't really reach her once the day gets moving. I usually wake her up with the phone.
What time do you call her?
4:30 in the morning.
Yeah, usually like maybe 5:30.
So 8 o'clock my time? Okay,
Yeah.
I can do that. Be like, Brian told me if I want to talk to you, I have to call you at 5 in the morning.
Usually it's around 5:45, 6-ish. I
Okay,
have called her earlier than that, but I warn you, she will be waking up when you call that early.
that's fine. At least I get to talk to her.
Yeah, to make this on topic, I am very thankful for my mom. I talk to my mom almost every morning, and I'm thankful I get to do that.
Aw, I talk to my mom almost every morning, but that's because she calls me until I answer.
My mom is a huge fan of the Dresden Files, and we talk about that at least once a week.
Oh,
I'm thankful my mom's taking an interest in my hobbies, and I got her and Manuel to go to 2 Renaissance fairs this year.
Neat.
Yeah. And they actually enjoyed it and can't wait to go to the next ones.
Neat.
We're talking about going to Arizona.
Neat. I hear
Yeah,
that's a good one.
It's pretty good. It's a permanent site, so it's kind of awesome.
I've heard the Wisconsin one is pretty epic too.
Minnesota's got a really good one too.
I imagine there's probably more states that have good ones than not.
Fair.
I never really got to experience the Ren Fair when I was living on the East Coast. I didn't really get to go until I was an adult here or
Well,
in California.
They've had a renaissance lately, no pun intended, to as far as how popular they're becoming. It's becoming more much like playing D&D and other nerd activities. It's becoming more mainstream. More people are getting into it. More people are seeing it as something cool to do instead of something geeks do on weekends to go be geeks with other geeks.
that's because all the geeks are adults and have money now.
Right?
I don't know.
That's why Marvel movies exist.
Yeah.
I grew up where it was normal for adults to do colonial reenactments on weekends.
Okay.
So it never really seemed strange to me. I think that was one of the appeals because I would often go to, there was like an old estate near us that was involved in the Revolutionary War, and there would be Revolutionary War reenactment stuff going on like all the time.
Right. But Brian, no one would ever look at you and go, that guy would never be caught dead at a Ren Fair.
No, they would know right away. I've had people walk up to me who barely know me and ask me if I play Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
I'm
It
the like
usually
the
is.
opposite. Every time I tell somebody I'm into like nerdy stuff, they're like, "What?"
Well, usually it's just they assume the IT guy is into nerdy stuff.
Fair point.
I was wearing my IT shirt the other day and it says, my name is IT. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
It's a good
And
shirt.
some lady came up to me in the store and was like, "Is your name really it?"
Oh my God.
Nice.
It really happened. What was funny is I was so flabbergasted that I was like, "No, huh?"
See, if I was an IT guy, I would totally leave my voicemail message. Hello, IT. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
I've done that before. I mean, I had it on my voicemail on my phone. My favorite way, and oh my gosh, I love this. And I want to get back to doing it again because I forgot that I used to do this all the time. Whenever I picked up my phone, I would be like, "Hello, you've reached the phone of Brian Darnell. I am here right now. Please begin speaking."
Nice.
Erica
Nice.
loved it when I did that.
Yes, loved it. It was the best. I'm so thrilled.
So my desk is closest to the phone at work, so I have to answer the phone when it rings for all the personal calls from people I work with. And I've got a spiel I have to say whenever I answer the phone.
Yeah, what's that?
231 clean room.
Oh,
And then the people that people have given it as a business number to, is so and so there? Yeah, one sec. Because we're in a building, number 231, and we're in the clean room.
This is exactly where you have located me.
Yep. It's like, oh, you could also answer by saying the extension number. I go, why? There's also like 25 people in this room. This phone call might be for anybody.
A fair point. That is a fair point.
There's another kitty behind you.
Yep. Poised and ready to strike.
Yeah, that's Penelope. She's being a bitch right now, and she hates the kitten. And anytime he's not near me, she chases him back into the laundry room into a little corner, and then she leaves him there. And then he's too scared to come back out, and then I have to go get him. And then when he roams away from me, she chases him back into the corner.
Fun.
Yeah, she's mean, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
she's waiting for you to put him down.
Yes, she is. She's waiting for me to put him down so that she can chase him back into his hole because that's the only place he's allowed to exist to her.
Penelope, you should really be nice to that cat. He's going to end up being twice your size and like able to handle you pretty easily.
Oh, I know.
'Cause
He's
that's
only 6 months old.
Yeah, that's a very big kitten.
Yep.
He's going to be a big boy. Oh, oh,
Well-
Astro.
Well, objects that are held by Erica are probably smaller than they appear.
Fuck you.
Am I wrong?
No, but that's not the point. He's looking at the camera, so cute. He's like, what are these people doing? I know. Are you gonna eat my earring now? Okay. So things
So,
we're thankful for.
Well, what are we thankful for that has happened this year so far? So we're coming up on the end of the year. So what are we thankful for, like in nerd life or in our lives? What are we thankful for of something that happened this year?
Man, I don't know. It's been a long year.
Yeah. There's been some real ups and downs this year.
There have been some ups and downs. I didn't plan gratitude after some big downs. I just planned it based on the holiday, but I think it might be something that'll be good for us.
Yeah. I mean, we
Yeah.
could also pivot a little and talk about the holiday itself and, what
Yeah.
traditions and stuff we do. And
Yeah,
Yes. because, unfortunately, thankfulness is both broad and quite specific at the same time.
well, I'm thankful I got on my bike again this year, and I got it fixed, and I've been riding it a lot. I went for a 15-mile bike ride on Sunday.
Damn.
Last Sunday.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
You never realize how far you can actually ride until like you get going. Because I think the last one I did was like 22 miles or something like that.
yeah.
You just keep going. And you're like, yeah, this is fine. This is like riding a bike.
Yes, you see, Frodo, my lad, the road's an interesting place. You set your feet upon it, and if you don't watch yourselves, you'll find yourself on the other side of the world.
Oh.
I get in trouble for making short jokes, and David just flat out called Erica a
Mine was a
hobbit.
Tolkien quote, you lepton.
Yeah, directed at the short person.
I am a dwarf,
Tolkien quote.
not a hobbit. We have been over this, Brian. I am a dwarf, not a hobbit.
That makes me really happy. I'm going to go on a little bit of a side note because this is something I'm grateful for. I was going hiking with Erica once, and we were going at a really good pace. And Erica goes, "You need to slow down. I'm not built for cross country. I'm a sprinter." And I'm like, "Did you just quote Lord of the Rings?" And she turned beet red and went, "Not on purpose."
I'm wasted on cross country.
That's right. Us dwarves are natural sprinters, very dangerous over short distances.
Very dangerous.
Which is so funny because it's so true. When my little brother was like 16 and 17 and he would annoy me, he knew that if he could get out of my reach within the first like 20 feet, he was safe because he could keep running and I could not. But if I got him in that first one, he was dead. He was done. That was it.
I had a buddy of mine find out the hard way. He played a prank on me and grabbed something out of my backpack, and I whipped around and took like 3 steps and caught his ass, and he went, "Oh no!"
I know.
I went,
one
yeah,
time-
I'm faster than I look.
I know. One time I went running, this was like 10 years ago. Somebody forgot something because I used to work at Verizon and somebody had left something on my desk or whatever.
Mhm.
And I grabbed it and I sprinted out the front door to give it to them before they drove off in the parking lot. And I walked back into the store And all my coworkers look at me and they're like, I did not know you were that fast.
Yep.
I am very, very fast over short distances, but after that, that's it.
After that, I need a chair and a water bottle and about 10
No,
minutes.
I don't need a chair and a water bottle. It's like my muscles go, nope, we're done. We're done. You're gonna slow this shit down.
The John Panette mantra. Yeah, after about 15 minutes, it becomes a mantra. Raviolis and a nap. Raviolis and a nap.
Well, I can run 3 miles now, but it's very much it's a jog. It's not a run. I'm not like full running. It's a jog. I can jog for about 3 miles now. So I think my endurance is up much faster than it was before.
Running? I don't know what that is.
More of a jog. Ow, ow, ow. Watch those kitten claws. They're dangerous. Those are dangerous.
That was adorable.
That was adorable. Now I'm really happy that I got back on the bike. I also found a mobile bike repair guy. And of course, the problem with my bike was something I could have fixed myself, and I just couldn't find it.
What was the problem with your bike?
The cable going into the gear assembly was flipped over and like caught up in the gear assembly, like in where the derailleur is.
Yep.
And I just didn't see it. But one of the brake pads was defective, so I'm glad he came.
Yeah, no kidding. Jesus.
And I didn't know that. So, because I was like, oh, this is an easy fix, but, let's still do the tune-up. And he put a kickstand on it, which is very strange because I've never had a bike with a kickstand.
For real?
Yeah, never had a bike with a kickstand. This is my first not mountain bike.
All mountain bikes have kickstands. What the fuck are you smoking?
I'd never had a mountain bike with a kickstand.
That's weird.
Every
Every bike I've owned has had a kickstand.
Yeah. Well, I used to do single track racing, and maybe that's why, because you don't put extra stuff on it.
That's probably why.
And it wasn't like I was a pro or anything. A friend of mine got me into the hobby and was like, this is what you get. And I bought the bike and used to ride it. And I had a few bikes that were all kind of around that. And that's what I learned about mountain bikes. So I never really had, I think I had a BMX when I was a small kid that had a kickstand, but none of my bikes after that had them.
Do you know what I learned about myself, Brian, when I bought my bike? I only like riding mountain bikes. I got it like what's called a cruiser first, thinking, I would just stay on the sidewalk because I'm not a kid anymore. And I realized they're very different bikes. If you're used to riding a mountain bike and then you ride a different style bike, you're like, this is extremely uncomfortable. And so I ended up returning it and getting a mountain bike because I was like, I can't ride this thing.
I understand. The bike I have right now is a hybrid street bike, and it took me a little while to get used to if the road gets bumpy.
Yeah, but Brian, you can't buy yours in the kids section where they're cheaper.
Fuck you.
I didn't make that joke.
Fuck you.
Equal
I
opportunity.
bought an adult bike. Apparently, they make adult bikes in short people. So, and they're a lot easier to get in fairness. I have an adult bike because I'm an adult person, David.
And she grew a whole inch.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of you. I'm thankful that happened because that's crazy.
Pregnancy hormones, man. It's nuts. It's
That is
nuts.
crazy.
I know. I was 5'1", and when I was pregnant with Lee, I grew a whole inch. And they were like, oh, you're 5'2". I was like, no way. This is amazing.
Well, freshman year of high school, I was 5'8". Sophomore year of high school, I was 6'2". I've been 6'2" ever since.
I was 5'11" when I graduated high school, and then in about a year and a half, I was 6'2". It was very painful. I had lots of Charlie horses.
I was 5'2" in sixth grade, or 5'1" in sixth grade, and I was 5'1" until I was 24.
Yeah, much like Master Took, I'm not likely to grow much else with sideways.
Oh, I have this awesome picture. It's so funny. So my best friend Stephanie is 4'11", and I'm 5'2".
You always got to find someone that's just a little bit smaller. Make you feel better.
It just happened like that, man. In fact, it's funny how I met her because I was at work and we had a gym at work at the time. And it was like 3 days in a row, I saw her walking with a gym bag. And I was sitting there going, I need to get back to the gym. but I don't want to go by myself. I need somebody to hold me accountable. And I had been like mulling over this for like 2 weeks. And for 3 days in a row, I saw her walk by with a gym bag. And on the third day, as she was walking, I said, "Hey, you." And she stopped. She's like, I thought I was in trouble. She's like, I had no idea. Like, I didn't know her name. I didn't know her name or anything. I just went, "Hey, do you go to the gym every day at lunch?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "Do you have a gym partner?" "No." "Do you want one?" "I guess." I'm like, "Cool. I'll go with you tomorrow."
See, you found a smaller person and terrified them into doing your bidding.
Well, I didn't think it was terrifying. I just thought, hey,
Right, you didn't.
getting her attention. "Hey, do you want a gym partner? Do you do this often? Okay, cool. Let's do this."
It sounds like she was afraid for her life, and
She
It's
was.
a fair reaction when Erica's involved.
oh God, don't kill me. Yes.
Well, she and I had this conversation the other day. She was like, she goes, "You're so confident. I wish I was confident." I was like, so many people say that, but I don't feel like it's confidence. I feel like it's the lack of giving a shit about what people think about me. And I don't think they're the same thing.
They really are, though.
I guess. I don't know. She goes, "Well, that's kind of your strength. You don't care. So you just do what you want." And then people go, "Oh, look, she's really confident." Because we were talking about, before Chris and I got together, like I was having no luck dating people like the way you would previously. Brian was around, he and I had this conversation too. Like I would go to bars and stuff, and apparently I just scared people off. Like I don't know if it's my demeanor or I have resting bitch face. Like, I don't know. But apparently, no guys were remotely interested in having a conversation with me. But I would go to bars and I was on dating apps and all that sort of stuff. And apparently, according to Stephanie, my confidence, quote unquote, if you will, is terrifying to other individuals who are not as confident, which I thought is strange. I don't get it.
She's right.
I mean, I guess she's right. I don't know. Brian, are you going to weigh in here?
I don't care what people think in
I know.
public. I mean, you and I together are kind of, I mean, we'll do skits without being filmed in front of people. I mean, if Heather, so Heather and I and Erica and Rusty were all going on a trip and there were a lot of shenanigans. But I imagine, and Erica and I, if we were like someplace like a restaurant or bar or something, and Erica just started calling me a different name and speaking in a British accent, I wouldn't even hesitate to play along.
Yes, we're very
Yeah.
much okay, and just roll with it.
Yeah.
Each other. That's why we were dancing outside of a gas station while our husband and wife were inside the gas station, and we were dancing outside like Jay and Silent Bob.
Which isn't the first time we've done Jay and Silent Bob in front of a gas station.
It's not.
And it's also funny, it's probably not the first time either of us have danced in front of a gas station or some other place alone even. Like I'll be at like the grocery store and I'll either a song will pop into my head and I'll hear it on the radio and I'll just be like
I do the same thing. I'm just like do 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 do, or I'll start singing with it as I'm walking through the grocery store.
To give you all listeners, neither of us are neurotypical. So, I mean,
I'm not?
Yeah, you're time displaced synesthesia.
Oh yeah.
So you see colors, for fuck's sake.
I guess I do. I do have time space synesthesia. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, when like if you go out in public and just see people as mathematical equations, I can't imagine that they're very intimidating.
Ah,
I was making a joke. I wasn't too reductive about that, was I?
no, you're not.
Okay.
It's fine, but I will say that my time space synesthesia does cause problems in social interactions because when somebody tells me a story, I'm literally visualizing it. Like that's how my brain records things. I'm not just listening to respond. I'm literally like as you're telling me and I'm looking at you, I'm seeing the objects in front of me as it's playing out. So generally that makes people think that I have resting bitch face. And I think my friend Chelsea said it best. It was so funny because I worked with her for years. And one time she was telling me a story and I was listening to her. And then all of a sudden she stopped in her story. She didn't know what, let me just preface, she didn't know what to think of me at the time. Everybody thought I was just a weirdo, which I guess is legit. But anyways, she just stops in the middle of her story and she goes, "Oh, you're listening to me." And I go, "Yeah, I'm listening to you." She goes, "I always thought you were just being a bitch." She goes, "You're listening." And I go, "Yes, I am listening to you." And she goes, "Oh, okay." And then all of a sudden we were best friends. All of a sudden she's like, "Let's hang out all the time."
That's good.
Yeah, and I was like, "Yeah, well, but I think that has to do a lot with my weird social interactions is that I guess like people who are not used to confident people are intimidated by it. People that aren't used to people actively listening to them instead of listening to respond don't know how to interpret that."
Oh, what? You mean my player that sits at my table that I literally say a spiel, look right at them, and they go, "Wait, what did you say?" Like, what the actual fuck? Were you not listening?
Yes, very
Or
similar.
I'll go, this guy, his name is blah blah. He says this. Cool, what's his name? Dude.
Okay, that's not fair. I'm terrible with names. You can tell me somebody's name, and when I'm DMing, I forget people's names, and I've created the character. I'm awful with names.
When we were running games at cons together, did I tell you Pathfinder ears or did you tell me Pathfinder ears?
I told you Pathfinder ears.
You told me Pathfinder ears. I was sitting at David's table and he goes, "Everybody, if you're having trouble listening, just put on your Pathfinder ears."
Yep. Where you cup your ears towards
You cup
the
your
end.
ears towards people because there's so much background noise. It's the only way to hear and understand
Yep.
anybody.
Yep. Especially when you're in some of the bigger rooms. Yeah, it gets really loud in there sometimes.
Never sit in a corner. You will
Nope.
get a headache.
Mm-hmm.
Is all the sound bouncing off everywhere?
If you're at a big busy convention, don't sit in the corner of the room. Don't have the GM be in the corner of the room. Don't have the table in the corner because either side sucks.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, I look back on my like convention and gaming days and I'm grateful for that time, but I don't want to go back to doing that again.
Oh, see, I
I'm
still
happy
enjoy
to
it.
run a
Grant
no,
and
I have-
I'm thankful that the Pathfinder Society is giving my friend Grant and I a chance to reinvigorate first edition play at the game conventions because there are a lot of people like myself that don't like second ed.
That's fair.
Yeah, and I'm just not interested in organized play at all anymore. What's
Well,
funny
I mean,
is,
you were in the belly of the beast. That makes sense.
yeah, what's funny, well, it just got too crunchy for me. I mean, maybe it's better with second edition, but I imagine that they'd still get very crunchy. Because, like, I watch a lot of the stuff online about, like, people trying to work out the best DPM builds, and I'm like, I don't think like that when I make characters.
No, me neither.
Yeah, I mean, I think okay. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just taking a stab at it here. But I think what I've noticed is a lot of players, especially when they're newer or haven't been doing it, God, 20 plus years like we have, I think they just want to optimize to win and they don't enjoy the story portion of it. And I think that's the difference between the types of players is you have story players who just want to have fun and don't care if their character survives. They just want to have a good time. And then you have other people who are like, I'm gonna min-max fuck out of this because I want to win. Or
Look,
I'm gonna
if you can't figure out how to get your damage per action over 40, you're doing it wrong.
And I don't love those characters. I love characters that are silly and tell a story and, are going to act the way that they're supposed to act. And I have players that role play their characters, that's the best part to me.
One of the things, though, is I may not have been into the power gaming, but I did optimize my characters.
Yeah.
I enjoyed doing that. But I think after doing Pathfinder Society for a while, I started trying to figure out how I could speed run the adventures versus trying to beat them. Like I wanted to look for the opportunity in the story to skip to the end. And
There are
I,
quite a few of them that have those.
well, I played whenever I played with Eric Britton, who's one of the big high level game coordinators for Pathfinder Society. Whenever I played with him, we would both play something like a sorcerer or a bard or something, and we would skip whole encounters left and right.
Oh, I would
Having
do
a
that.
sleep hack switch.
I would do that all the time. I'd be like, wait, do I have to fight that person? If the DM's like, well, they're over there and they don't see you. I'm like, cool, let's keep walking. We're good. Like,
My
we keep moving.
my favorite time we skipped an encounter wasn't so it's like a lot of people like the create pit spell because it takes a creature out of the combat for a while until they can either climb up or the spell ends. I figured out the utility of that spell that you could use it to drain large bodies of water.
Yeah.
And we were playing an adventure that had a mining elevator, and creatures started attacking the mining elevator. So we cast Create Pit. We all jumped in the pit. One of the sorcerers cast Featherfall, and the other one started shooting Scorching Rays at the ropes. You're in an
Nice.
extra dimensional space. You're not affected by gravity.
Well, I mean, you are, but once you hit the bottom, you're not gonna. Yeah.
Well, you're not in the same world, so you're not affected by the gravity of the elevator falling.
That's true.
Because
That
you're
makes-
not in that dimension. The dimension you're in has gravity.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You're standing at the bottom of the pit, but the pit
Yeah.
then goes kaboom into the ground. You don't get crushed or anything.
No.
You then, end the spell and blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Turtle shell your way, or
Yeah.
Mario pipe your way out of the pit.
I love that spell. They don't have anything like that in second edition. Create Pit was a really cool spell in first edition. I loved spells that just
I was
had
always a fan of the
so
higher
much
level
ridiculous
Hungry
utility.
Pit, but yeah.
Hungry Pit was good.
That was the one that would slam shut every turn and deal crushing damage to everything.
We were doing a
inside.
Black Rose Museum adventure once, and we dropped some big construct into a pit. And the GM goes, "What do you want to do on your turn?" I said, "I cast grease under the statue next to it." And then the barbarian pushed the statue into the pit. GM
Nice.
just goes, "Yeah, that's it for that encounter."
Nice.
I
Yeah.
love it. That's great.
Yeah, well, you had the whole ogre with the freaking feather token tree.
Always
Iron
fun.
Golem?
Oh, the iron golem. Didn't you do it to an ogre too?
We did
Yes,
it to
was very helpful.
I had a party that did it to a rock.
A feather
Managed.
token?
No, we used a feather token to grow, or sorry, a tree token to fuck a rock, so it would leave us alone.
Yeah,
Oh, the giant bird
Iron
rock.
Golem.
Yeah, the ROC, the rock. The giant desert bird that goes you as it flies towards you. So
Yeah,
it got nice and close, got down to about 10 feet to the ground. We threw a fucking tree token at it. It suddenly goes shooting 60 feet in the air on top of a tree and decided to leave us alone.
Yeah, I pinned an iron golem to the roof of the cave with the tree token because we had nothing that could damage it.
Nice.
Nobody had a damn thing. And I was like, I'm gonna throw it at its feet, and it just whoop and pinned it to the I was like, yeah, and we're moving on.
Oh yeah, doing that indoors or in like a cavern or something is great.
I love it when players
Trash.
come up with stuff like that. The last in-person game I was running, the party was fighting some bandits, and when I run monsters, I tend to use like movie tactics. So I had one of the bandits jump up on a table, and of course the druid says, "What's the table made out of?"
Wood.
And I went, "Wood," and they went, "Yeah,
Shape wood.
I'm gonna cast shape wood and turn that table into a clamshell."
Boom.
I went, "He's dead.
Yep.
We're
Nope.
we're
Squish.
not spending rounds trying to see if he
Table-
gets out."
Table goes boom, red jelly comes out sides. He's done.
No, it's a permanent spell. It's not, I'm meaner because it's not a spell you can like dismiss. You have to cast the spell again. So I just had the bandit slowly suffocate to death, and they could hear him going.
Oh, that's even more terrifying.
Yeah.
Christ.
Think of how claustrophobic and uncomfortable it would be.
No thanks.
Yeah.
I want to be able to
hard
sleep
pass.
tonight. Thanks though.
Hard pass. Hard pass.
Um,
Just for an update, the kitten got out of my arms, got on the floor, and Penelope chased him into the other room.
oh no.
Yeah.
Predictable even.
I have been reading a lot about this series of movies that came out called the Terrifier series.
Okay.
I am very grateful that I have not seen these and I've read enough about them to not
Isn't
see
that the
them.
one with that creepy black and white clown guy?
Yeah, and they're apparently some of the most brutal movies ever made.
Yeah, no thanks.
Hard pass. You said clown.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
And he
I
just
think it would go past your
brutally
gore
kills
levels too.
things.
Yeah, like very, very gory, senseless violence.
Oh, did I tell you about Rowan and the Pennywise thing?
Yes.
Okay, never mind. I
Yeah,
won't-
she noped out. She went, nah, I'm done.
Yeah, 40 minutes in, she noped
Yeah.
out.
Nope.
I was like, I told you these were scary. She's like, I don't get scared. And she's like, nope. I was like, oh, he's so funny. Things that I'm thankful for this year. I am thankful for my new job. I got a new job and I very much enjoy it. It's fantastic.
New responsibilities at same employer or new job totally?
Same employer.
Okay.
Same employer. I just I got a position in a different department. So
Nice.
still doing marketing, just in a different department. And I really like my new boss. I really like the job itself. I get to where I used to market like one to many. Now I get to market one to one
Ooh.
because they're bigger accounts. So
Nice.
it's really fun because I get to be really personal with the stuff that I'm doing, which is nice. I'm also thankful for the health of my family. It's been an interesting year with Lee's medical diagnosis. So, knowing that everybody's A-okay is really important to me. So
Have you talked about it on the show before?
I don't think so.
It's manageable, everybody. Don't worry. It's not like some
Oh, yeah,
horribly
yeah.
chronic thing.
No, it's manageable. It's manageable. So it was one of those things where we were trying to figure out what was going on with Lee for a long time. And then we finally figured it out. And now that we know, we can manage it and everything's fine. So we're good. But, when you don't know what's going on for a really long time, it's very frustrating. And so I'm grateful that we now know and we can now treat them. So.
I'm glad you have a good attitude about it. I remember how stressed you were when you found out.
Yeah, I was really, I was stressed about it because it's a forever condition, right? Like that's what's really stressful about it. But all these years of, not knowing why they were lethargic and they slept 12 hours a day and, they would always say like their body hurt and, stuff like that. Like as a mom, you're like, well, if your body hurts, it can't be because you're tired. Maybe you need to exercise, like, because you just slept 12 hours. Like, you don't know what the right advice is to give them. And then you're like, okay, well, go exercise. And they're like, I just can't. I hurt. And you're just like, well, you wouldn't hurt if you exercise because you got to move your body. And like me not understanding that there was an underlying issue that was causing all of this, is frustrating as a parent because no matter what, they just weren't getting better, no matter what lifestyle changes they did. And now that we know, they're feeling great and they have energy and it's, we're able to manage everything. So they're just in a better position.
And, since a gluten-free diet helps with it, if celiac ever rears up its head, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, that's true. But no, don't put that on me. No, I don't want them to also have celiac.
I mean, just grow up and do some coke like an adult.
Yeah.
Erica's family only drinks tea, David.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what mixes great with tea?
Cocaine.
Yes.
Okay.
It's got me on my knees. I'm begging, darling, please.
Oh my
Layla. Oh.
God. Serge Tankian came out with a new album this year.
Who?
Serge Tankian, lead singer of System of a Down.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he came out with a new solo album this year.
Oh, you want to hear something hilarious? After the the Debbie Downer that we all had the very next day, Chris started listening to System of a Down on like a loop. That's all he was listening to. My husband doesn't generally listen to System of a Down, and he was just like listening to the whole album of Toxicity over and over and over and over. And he's like rocking out in the kitchen, making dinner, listening to it. I'm just like, okay.
It's a pretty feel-good album. The self-titled album is an album that's good on a bad day. You know what my number one bad day song is? Electric Head Part 1.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, the one that starts all slow with like the machine sounds, and it's like,
yeah. See,
and now it's best we start from the beginning.
You want to know what I've had a really bad day song is? Rhythm of the Night by DeBarge.
I knew that.
That is my really bad day song. Every time I have a bad day, I just throw it on and all of a sudden I'm like, everything's fine. It's good.
Do you have any feel good songs, Dave?
I do. It's a Japanese track by the band Sambo Master. Kinshian. I can't pronounce it. I'll post it in Discord.
Okay.
So you go to patreon.com/nerdpodcastradio and get access to our Discord. You knew I was going to do it. You knew I was going to do it.
Nobody else no, we're done with the Patreon stuff. Y'all stop that shit.
And if you want to see Erica's irate reaction, you can go to patreon.com/nerdpodcastradio.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian, I have something really funny to tell you.
What?
Lee was showing me one of the songs that they like. It's called three kobolds in a trench coat.
That's great.
And she's just like, oh, this is such a funny song. And she was listening, we were listening to it, and I was like, do you want to hear a funny song? And she goes, sure. And I put on Detachable Penis, and she started laughing hysterically.
I don't even classify that as a song.
I think I was younger than her the first time I heard it.
I heard it on K-Rock.
I heard it on Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
No, okay.
It was just, she was listening to it. She goes, this is fucking hilarious.
I had to listen to the song after seeing it on Beavis and Butthead, because on Beavis and Butthead the whole thing is just he's a penis, he's a penis.
Yeah, I remember that. It was funny. So, but they really enjoyed it. And then I shared Coin Operated Boy with her, and she thought that was hilarious as well.
Oh, I remember where we learned about that song.
Where did we learn about that song?
Rachel introduced us to the Dresden Dolls.
That's true. She did. So, but anyways, I thought that would get a good giggle out of you, because she just thought it was the funniest song ever.
That's pretty funny. Now, I've been listening to a lot of White Zombie lately because, well, there's a reason.
I thought that there was a reason, because you said because.
Well, I've been shoveling chip, so listening to Dracula over and over again helps.
Dracula?
Yeah, dig through the ditches and burn.
Yeah, no, I know. It's very clear, but I thought that was a Rob Zombie song, not a White Zombie song.
Same thing.
No.
Not.
No, they are not.
It's the same thing.
No,
it's the same
it's
singer.
No, it's not.
Whatever.
Well, I mean, it is, but it's not.
It is, but it's not.
Well,
That's
I
right.
was listening to both of them, so you put it on YouTube Music and you get both. And when you go see Rob Zombie, he plays those songs in concert.
Yeah,
It's not like he stopped doing White Zombie stuff.
I know.
And Foo Fighters have done Metallica songs
So
in
it's
concert.
the
What the hell
same
does that
thing.
matter?
Well, they're his songs. I mean, he just shifted his band around a bit. I mean, it's not like it's any different. Like, I remember going to Ozfest and Rob Zombie performed Thunderhead 65,
Yeah.
and it's so same thing.
I'll never forget the Weenie Roast I got to go to, where my buddy won pit tickets. So he and I went and got to go to the pit, and Rob Zombie was headlining. And there was a guy in the pit that had a 2.5 foot tall mohawk that he had like white glued into spikes, and didn't have a shirt on, and was headbanging so hard. Rob stopped his set, went, "Wheel me out a box. I want to go stand next to that guy." They wheeled a box out into the middle of the pit where this guy was. Rob Zombie jumped off the stage, walked over to the box, crawled on top of the box, and finished his set from that box in the middle of the pit.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That was cool.
I have been to a few Rob Zombie concerts and been in the pit, but I've never had him come into the pit. So
Oh yeah, that was
you've been,
epic.
David.
That was epic.
I like his hellbilly style, like the newer, more kind of like road country rock music. It's pretty cool. But I've noticed that in his later albums, he's starting to do things that sound more like the original stuff.
It's all a
I'm,
circle.
I'm not a music nerd, so you guys know a lot more about the stuff than I do.
I don't think I'm a music nerd by any stretch of the imagination. I think I'm a music snob.
I'm
That's
not.
what people have told
Yeah,
me.
I don't really know much about technical stuff about music to really be a nerd.
Let me rephrase this. You pay attention to what's going on with music. Like
Yeah.
you tell me someone's got an album coming out, I go, oh, okay, cool.
Well, I mean, it's only because I watch a lot of YouTube. So, like, Serge Tankian was on Last Meals on Good Mythical Kitchen. So I went, he's interviewing. A new album came out and
Yeah,
immediately looked it up.
because
He
you know
didn't
you know
talk
why,
about the
Brian?
album once.
You know why, Brian? Because you're a
Well,
music nerd.
that's true.
I am not a music nerd. I have been called a music snob, though. I will say that because
Can
I
one be a snob without being a nerd?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. What I do know,
I think a snob has some negative connotation to it.
Oh, indeed, but you cannot really be truly snobby about something if you don't know almost everything about it.
Erica, anything you've collected, you're a nerd about.
Yeah,
And you have album collections and stuff.
music nerd.
I guess. I mean, I guess. I don't know. I'm just super particular about the music I listen to. Like, either the music itself has to be really good and different. Like, I can enjoy a good pop song every now and again, but for the most part, they're very cookie cutter and I don't love it. Is it like it's like candy? It's like the difference between eating like a really wonderful gourmet meal and candy.
You know,
For me.
there's a I believe they're from New Zealand. They might also be Australian. I'm not sure. I can't. The accent sounds very similar to me. I have trouble telling it apart. They're a group called the Axis of Awesome,
Oh,
and
I
they do
like
like
them.
they do like a 4 minute thing where they show that pretty much all pop songs are written
Yes,
to the
I
the
have
four
seen
magic
that.
chords. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right.
and so I don't like I can enjoy it. Like I said, junk food. It's one of those like every now and again things where I'm like, okay, I don't want, I'm just gonna whatever to it.
I mean, I say
But
the same thing about country, but that's me.
but for me to really love something, it has to have something interesting going on with it musically. Or the lyrics have to be very interesting and in-depth. It has to be one of those two. And if you put both of those together, then I'm like over the moon about it. But for me, it has to be at least one of the two. And if the music's not interesting and the lyrics aren't, soul crushing, in depth, like to the soul of humanity, kind of like feelings coming out, then I am not interested. And I just go, oh, okay.
You know what's funny is like people will ask like what kind of music listen to it. It's pretty much everything except country,
Yep.
but
Yeah,
some
everything
country,
but country.
but some country,
I don't know.
and
I've
no
recently
hip
on a
hop except some hip hop.
I've recently been on a real big EDM kick the last couple of years, so
Yeah,
most of the music I choose to listen to is dance music or
when I
or
when I
just straight
ride,
EDM.
hey, let's do a thing. Let me bring up let me see what YouTube is recommending to me because
Oh,
I've been
good.
mostly using YouTube Music.
Oh, good God.
Um,
All right. We're trusting the algorithm here.
I'm just going to say I listen to these playlists because I just grab a random playlist when I go riding. I have a lot of 90s new metal, which I guess is my like root genre I jump back into. Tons of System of a Down. What's weird is they always recommend Godsmack and I hate Godsmack.
Well, you can be wrong. It's okay.
Yeah,
You can also go into the recommendations and tell it not to recommend you Godsmack.
I do that all the time.
Not often enough, apparently.
No, it just keeps on coming back up.
See, things I've been listening to, according to, because I use Spotify, my mixes that are suggested for me is a jazz mix, because I listened to a lot of Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald and stuff. And then Moody Mix, Brian. Moody Mix. Do you want to guess who's in the Moody Mix?
David Bowie?
No, it's Mazzy Star,
Oh,
Fleetwood Mac. Let me see who else is in here. Oh my God, The Fray, just all sorts of like just moody. Cranberries, of course, Snow Patrol, stuff like that.
I had a friend in high school that whenever he heard Mazzy Star, he would be like, please turn this off. It sounds like the music in a depressed bar where people are going to kill themselves.
I love that music.
I like Mazzy Star, but that quote always stuck with me. I always thought it was funny.
My
It
ex,
is
my
funny.
my ex was really into yacht rock.
What's yacht rock?
Yacht rock. It's the the music yachting kids listen to.
Oh, yachting kids.
Yeah,
like
yacht
yacht.
rock. Yeah,
What the hell is yacht rock?
I don't
I'm
know.
looking this up. Yacht
yeah.
rock.
Go for it.
Oh, I have recommended stations: Alanis Morissette, New Radicals, Tom Petty, Gin Blossoms, Matchbox 20, Smashing Pumpkins, Stone Temple Pilots.
Yeah, it's yacht rock.
Yeah, I think it's telling. Oh, Primitive Radio, God Radio. I think it's telling me that I'm stuck in the 90s.
I don't know. One band I really liked that a lot of people didn't was Alien Ant Farm.
I
I
like
love Alien
It's-
Ant Farm.
Well, we're weird, so it's cool.
Well, I'm from Riverside County.
Yeah, I've met
You
them.
can't- Yeah.
Awesome.
I saw them before they blew up. They played at the bowling alley in Hemet before.
Yeah,
Very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw them too.
Yeah, and then
I saw them there. At the not the bowling alley, the ice rink, the roller rink.
The roller rink. That's right, not the bowling
Roller
alley.
rink, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, before they blew up on the radio, I saw them there, I think twice. And then I got to see them again afterwards. They were playing in Indianapolis, and I got to have a beer with the lead singer. And I was
Nice.
like, yeah, I'm from Riverside, California. I saw you play at what is the name of that rolling rink?
The wheelhouse.
The Wheelhouse. I saw you play at the Wheelhouse. And he goes, what? Are you serious? I was like, oh yeah, a couple of times. He's like, oh yeah.
Nice.
And then he bought me a beer. It was really nice.
Yeah, they got big because of X 103.9,
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
which doesn't exist on the radio anymore.
Nope.
What?
No longer a station.
It's online. They brought
Yeah.
it back streaming. It exists. You can go to X 103.9 and listen. And they even have the indie artist stuff.
Nice.
So like they just people were so upset that they decided to bring it back on streaming. But yeah, I guess it was just like it was a sellout thing. It was like, they needed to do something a little bit more mainstream. And it's
Yeah.
just a top 40 network now.
Oh, I love that they played local bands. Like
Yeah.
they had that what, 2 hours on Friday nights or Saturday nights where all
Fridays or Saturdays, something like that.
where all they did was play local bands.
And they had that period of time very late at night where they would play all sorts of metal that you'd never heard of before.
Yep.
And I think they used to claim that they played more Tool than any other radio station in the country.
No, they probably did.
They probably did.
Yeah. 103.9 was great.
I mean, K-Rock only plays like 5 different Tool songs.
Yeah. Well, you can't play the 15-minute ones on the radio.
Nope, you cannot. Unless your ex,
What's
your
your
radio station doesn't care.
What's your favorite Tool song, Erica?
46 and 2.
I knew that.
Yeah, I was like, why are you asking? I had my license plate that for a long time.
I don't know if I've asked you. Do you like them, David?
Yes, I went to a concert of theirs in San Diego once.
What's the Halloween one?
No, this was like 12 years ago or something.
The Halloween one?
It wasn't on Halloween.
Oh, there was about 12 years ago, there was a Halloween show in San Diego.
Oh, no, this was like in the middle of summer. It was like July or something.
I don't ask when my brain went like eidetic memory like that. Because I was like, I as soon as you said 12 years, I was like, yeah, that's when the Halloween one was.
Well, it might have been, but I wasn't at that show.
I went to one like a month after that in Long Beach.
Mm,
I've seen all three of Maynard's bands.
nice.
Yeah, I've been lucky.
I've only seen two of them.
Yeah.
I've never been to a Perfect Circle.
Yeah, I've been to Perfect Circle, Tool, and Pussifer.
What's your favorite song, David?
Oh, God, I am so bad with the names of their tracks because they don't often make sense.
Mine is the 19-minute version of Third Eye.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've heard that song, but telling me that name doesn't tell me anything.
It's the one that they debuted it at concerts and then they recorded it and put it on Solival, and it starts off with a Timothy Leary speech.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Think for yourself, question authority. Think for yourself, question
Yeah.
authority.
The one where he's pissed off about California. I can't remember the actual name of it. Learn to
Anima.
swim.
Anima.
Yeah, Anima. That was it. Yeah. Learn to swim.
Yeah.
I sing that at karaoke. Fuck all these hip, fuck all these nitwits, fuck all these gun-toting hip gangster wannabes.
Yes. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it was like a
Cause I'm praying for rain. I'm praying for tidal waves.
Yep.
Oh, I just want to sing the whole thing now.
Bonus episode.
Bonus episode, maybe. Yeah,
Mm.
that we can get away with shit like that in the bonus episode.
If you'd
Well,
like to listen to our bonus episodes, go to patreon.com/nerdpodcastradio.
You guys, Jesus Christ.
Thank you for the content, Erica. We appreciate it. The patrons salute you. 07 for Erica.
Oh my God.
And you know what?
I wish I could sing Tool. I cannot. I can sing, but I cannot. I can't get that gravel. I can't get that scream. I can't do it.
You probably do sober.
Maybe I might be able to. I don't know. I'll
The
stick to David Bowie and Tina Turner.
Nice.
you do a good job with Chris Cornell.
I do. That's true. I can do.
You gave me confidence to sing that like a Stone song. I do that one now.
Yeah.
I add a little bit more sass to it. Because I'll do the hello thing that he does at the end where he where he ends
Oh, good God. I'm thankful this episode's almost over.
yeah.
I don't know if that comes across.
You know what's funny is we started singing and Zoom popped up with, you need to set up professional audio settings if you're going to sing.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he does that so well. I love it.
Yeah.
So we're
it's
off topic.
no, we're not. We're talking about what we're thankful for. And I'm thankful for my
Tool,
wonderful
obviously.
co-host, my wonderful sister, and David. I don't want you to ever feel like you're just like the newest host on the podcast. I consider you a dear friend, and
The feeling is mutual.
I'm not doing a bit. I am grateful that you have been so reliable, and you're basically always here and give tons of notice if you can't. And Erica, you're my sister.
I know. I'm sorry. I have a very
You have
busy life.
if David had 2 kids and busy stuff, he'd probably be missed sometimes too.
Yeah, I practically live alone. I don't have
Yeah.
anything else going on.
Yeah,
This is
we're
my
the-
weekend.
The 2 child-free people are the people that are here every time. The people who have crazy family chaos miss episodes sometimes.
Yeah.
Nobody cares. And I loved how you guilted yourself into showing up today.
Shut your face. You did it on purpose because you know if you just say nothing for a while that I'm gonna do it to myself.
I'm not sure he did it on purpose. I think he was
did.
legitimately.
Oh my
in
God.
shock.
He's known me for 20 plus years. He
Fair
knows
enough.
exactly what to fucking
Do
do.
you know what's really funny? Erica's like, I want to go do this other thing. Is it going to be okay if I'm not
I want to
there?
watch Vintex. Just say it. We can plug Vintex. We
Yeah.
love Vintex.
Yeah. And this was my side of the conversation. My brain went, oh, well, look, okay, David's going to be there. Is the topic going to work?
We'll figure
Topic will
something
work.
out.
And then I hear Erica like in the back of my head going, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is it bad? And I'm just sitting there going, well, if David's there, can we do that topic? Is the gratitude okay? Is it too personal? And then she's like, you know what? I'll go. I'm sorry. I'll go. And I'm like, okay.
I did not say I'm sorry. This is what I said. I called Brian and I said, what are we talking about tonight? And he goes, thankfulness. And I was like, I have had a very long fucking day. And then I told him everything I did in the day. And I just got home and I just sat down and all I want to do is watch Vintex because he's live on YouTube playing Until Dawn, and I love this game, and I want to watch it. And I go,
I mean, if you had a second screen, you could be.
I did. Shut up.
Ah.
Anyways, but anyways, and then I said, well, is David gonna be on? And he goes, well, yeah. And then silent. And then I was like, fine, I'll
You know
come.
what's so funny is you think I did it to guilt you, but in reality, I was working out the logistics of the episode in my head because I hadn't done like an outline or anything because I forgot we were recording because I had a rough evening too. Not hardly as rough as yours. I mean, mine was kind of cake compared, but it was rough enough that Heather had to be like, oh, you're cutting it awfully close to the podcast. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah, Brian actually forgot we were recording tonight.
I
Yeah.
didn't. I got home and I told Chris, I was like, I think I have to be on the podcast tonight. Look at the calendar. And then he looked at the calendar and he goes, yep. And I go, oh, man.
Yeah.
No, it was like 5:30 when I was like, okay, food's done. We eat quickly. I'll bring it in there if I have to, and then come out. So we've been doing this for 8 years. I'm thankful we're still doing it. I'm thankful
we still
that we
do
get
it
to be
too.
on a show.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
glad
fun.
we still have a lot of listeners. Like, I can't, but here's my thank you to our listeners, not just our patrons. We love our patrons, though. We love you a lot. We couldn't do it without you. But just our listeners. Because, by the way, Brooke at the airport, when she looked at the podcast, do you know where our rating is?
No.
4.8 stars.
Sweet.
That is how much the people that listen to us love us.
Awesome.
So I
I
am
need to look
thankful
at
that people
iTunes. I
haven't
still
done
that
want
in a
to
while.
hear us argue and ramble about random nerdy shit. Sometimes not even that nerdy of shit, and they just want to hear us fight and argue and ramble. So
Sometimes it's nice to have someone to hang out with. We're like that thing they do in what's it called in Korea where the people watch the video of people eating.
The mukbang?
Yeah, we're like that. People just hang out with us. It's like
I do like that.
yeah.
I like the idea of people hanging out. I wish we had more people hanging out with us. I mean, we have a good amount of people hanging. I wish we could invite more of those people.
Holy crap, we got a lot more reviews on there than I haven't looked at iTunes in forever.
I don't use Apple products, so I don't look at iTunes ever.
Yeah, that's mostly why. But wow.
I would love for us a way, other than our patrons, I'd love for us to have, like, I don't know, a Discord channel for just listeners. I don't know if we can do that, but just people that could just talk to us and reach out to us, and maybe you'll join us sometime. Maybe there'll be somebody that has something really interesting on there. No,
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there.
Oh, we talk to people on our Patreon all the time about coming on the show.
Well, I know, but I'm talking about outside of our Patreon.
Oh, yeah, this is true.
I mean, because not everybody can afford to be a Patreon member, or maybe they have other things that they've already committed to. And, I'd like to reach out to the people that listen.
No, 100%. I'm right there with you.
Good job
Good job, what?
reaching out to the listeners.
Yeah, commendable.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we got to figure out how to do that.
Hi.
You just did. Hi,
Yeah.
Brooke.
Well, I meant like so they could talk back to us. I mean, they can leave us reviews. That would be awesome. I mean, we
Yeah.
have really good reviews, which is
Yeah, leave reviews. Or you
Please.
could email brian.nerdpodcastradio@gmail.com or
Yeah,
you
that's
can reach
true.
out to us on our Facebook page or there's
Yeah.
ways. Yeah. And you can always comment on the on the Patreon. I mean, you don't have to be a member to see it.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
Yeah, you can go on there and post comments on things. It'll just show locked videos and stuff, but there's little previews on there if you want to check it out.
Oh, yeah.
And so that was a great episode. I'm happy we did this, and I've been Super Vegan Brian, joined by Kersey Smurferica.
Bye.
I almost said Kersey Theobald III. My brain failed on me.
Brian, I think you need to turn off and turn back on again.
David D.
I'm thankful
About the
that joke's
Turks.
still going.
Stay nerdy, stay informed, and stay awesome.
Stay awesome.
Thanks for listening to our nerd show. Podcast Radio.